I'm pleased to be joined by Melissa Lubin, Dean of Professional and Continuing Education at James Madison University. And the Harrisonburg School had big news this week as they had the distinguished honor to be one of the U.S. colleges to receive the 2020 Community Engagement Classification by the Carnegie Foundation. Melissa, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
So when you found out about this distinction, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Wow, we were thrilled. This is a reclassification because it's a designation that we were awarded 10 years ago, and the reclassification looks at how you've progressed over those 10 years and taken it to the next level. So we had done a lot of work to pull together all of our resources, brought together a lot of people that told their stories and really helped us compile all of the progress that we've made over the last 10 years to show that we indeed were ready to be reclassified again with this designation.
So what is the impact of this designation and what it means to JMU?
Well, our vision is to be the national model for the engaged university, engaged with ideas in the world. And so having the premier designation with community engagement as the lead is really important for us to have national prominence, for us to stand side by side with our peers. Of the 3,500 or so colleges and universities in the United States, only about 350 have this designation. So that's at 10%, and we like being in that top 10%. So since engagement is our vision, and this is a classification that is surrounded about community, it's really important and meaningful for us.
Talk a little bit about the Carnegie Community Engagement Classification. For those that may not be familiar with the Carnegie Foundation, talk about them and this classification.
Sure. So the Carnegie Classification distinguishes universities based on their different missions, their degree levels that they offer, and also the different kinds of specialization. And you may hear that some colleges are designated as a regional comprehensive or as a Research One institution. Those are the basic Carnegie classifications. And this particular classification in community engagement is an elective one. This is one that actually universities and colleges apply for because they are in the process of instituting something special within their university that they stand out in. The community engagement classification is the only elective classification that Carnegie offers. So it's something very special to go for and obtain. And basically, community engagement, the kind of classic definition of that is that it describes the collaboration between institutions of higher ed like JMU and their larger communities for the mutually beneficial exchange of knowledge and resources. So it's about a spirit of reciprocity and helping each other along the way to build community.
Now, that was going to be my next question. In order to receive the classification, I would imagine JMU had to undergo a process. Talk about the process that JMU had to undergo to get this classification.
Right. It took us about 2 years to get ourselves prepared and to actually apply for the reclassification. What Carnegie asks is they look at a year of activity. They pull from a year, and for us that was 2018. And they would look at everything that we had done or accomplished by the year of 2018. That's where we would grab the information from. And then we spent the year of 2019 writing it up, compiling all of this information and making a compelling case that we had progressed over the past 10 years to, again, gain reclassification for Carnegie community engagement. So it took us about 2 years to go through the process of data collection and submitting the application. And it involves so many of our faculty and staff across the university, not only internally, but also externally. We reached out to many community partners, the companies that we're working with, both nonprofit and our corporations and entrepreneurs and citizens that we're working with. So we looked outside of our university to draw upon examples of how we are engaged in our communities.
Now, interesting, because you said it took 2 years. Well, the classification is going to be valid until 2026, so 6 years from now, and that's when JMU will need to reapply again. Now, will you wait 2 years before then, or is there any thoughts about what you're going to do when you get to 2026?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're starting to work on the next classification as we speak. I mean, I think we learned a lot by going through the process. And again, what Carnegie is looking for is progress. So we're doing really well, and we've achieved so much as a university and as a community of how to work together where we can help each other really get to that next level and to help solve problems in our society and help move individuals forward as far as, groups of people as well. So we still want to do more. There's so much more that we can do. New areas that we can tackle for problem solving, new communities that we can really embrace in this. So we're just trying to think, what's the next step for us? That's what we'll spend the next really 4 years doing is looking at the areas that we see there are still gaps, that we still have work to do. And that's where we'll focus on, so that then when we look in that fifth year for that year of reporting data, then we'll know where we want to be focusing on. So then that last year of just writing the application, it won't be a heavy lift, that we will have worked over this longer period to achieve these collective goals.
And of course, this is another feather in the cap of JMU when you go out to seek prospective students that you can throw in there now that you have been received the 2020 Community Engagement Classification.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, students have always been interested in community, and JMU, our mission is about really enlightening and educating citizens for today and for our future. And so students that come to JMU are already community-minded, and our faculty are there as well. So this just shows to them that we're investing in this for the long run, that we're doing everything that we can to ensure that being good, productive, and community-minded citizens is an important part of the education that you'll get at JMU.
Anything else you would like to add, or anything I should have asked?
I don't think so. I think you've asked all the great questions, and we're just, I guess I would make a comment that we're just so grateful to be in a community that is so vibrant and works well together, that being a college town, if you will, with Harrisonburg, it's broader than the city of Harrisonburg. This is Rockingham and Augusta and some of our other towns and cities that really all come together that surround JMU. We all work together. We could not have achieved this classification without the support and the participation of our community. So a big thank you to all of them.
Melissa Lubin, JMU Dean of Professional and Continuing Education, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.